Being an F1 driver sounds like the dream, right? Fast cars, fame, luxury, traveling the world, millions of fans cheering your name. Yeah, not always.
He knew it.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it.
I'm going home. Why? What?
This is 15 minutes of F1 drivers absolutely hating their lives. Think you've seen them all? I doubt it. Let's start with none other than the father of us all. El Nano has raced in more Grand Prix than anyone in history. He's been in F1 since before cars were even invented. And sure, he's had some amazing moments.
He's not going to be locked to breakdown. Amazing defensive driving by Fernando Alonso. His hand is out of the cockpit. Across the line they go.
Fernando Alonso back on the podium in Formula One. Welcome back, Fernando. He comes home to finish third. That is a brilliant result for him and for the Alpine team.
But let's be honest, the amount of pain this man has suffered could fill a Netflix series on its own. His first big trauma, pretty much the entire year of 2007. After being Renault's golden boy and becoming the youngest double world champion in history, Fernando decided to move to McLaren in 2007 to keep making history. And yeah, he did make history, just not in the way he hoped. Because there, waiting for him was some rookie called Lewis Hamilton. And this kid wasn't just good, he was really good. And well, British star, British team, you can probably see where this is going. McLaren had the best car that year, but also the most drama. The place turned into a full-blown soap opera. Alonso versus Hamilton, Alonso versus the team, Alonso versus happiness.
Yep, they want him out of there. Now Alonso's not getting on with it. Only a minute and 40 to go. Is he blocking Hamilton here?
He was completely alone. In the ending, Kimi Raikkonen just casually snatched the title by one single point in Brazil.
Kimi Raikkonen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. His first victory here, the 15th of his career, and by no doubt the most important.
Leaving both Alonso and Hamilton staring into the void. Who would have thought? And Alonso, lifetime trauma unlocked. Straight back to Renault like nothing ever happened. But don't worry, Brazil wasn't done ruining his life yet, because just a few years later in 2012, that same track would traumatize him all over again. This time Alonso was Ferrari's golden boy and he was chasing the championship against Vettel's Red Bull. Yep, somehow, and I honestly don't know how, he managed to drag that absolute box of a car into a title fight. He arrived in Interlagos 13 points behind Vettel. Not ideal. In qualifying, the German managed P4 and Alonso scraped P8. Pretty tough odds. But then it rained the next day, and suddenly things got interesting.
And it's lights out, and away we go for one more time in 2012. Fernando Alonso goes around the outside, and Sebastian Vettel has already lost places, getting caught in no man's land on the inside.
Alonso moves up to P3, Vettel falls to the back, and the championship looked his. Finally, right? Wrong. Vettel wasn't done yet.
Oh, as off goes Kobayashi. Brazilian Grand Prix, and Vettel ahead now, and he hasn't made life too difficult for him. There goes Sebastian Vettel, you can ride on board with at Sky Race Control if you want. He is now up into 6th place.
The finish, Alonso crosses the line P2, Vettel finishes 6th, just enough to take the title by 3 miserable points.
Alonso second, Massa third, and we look now for the man who's once, who's twice, and is 3 times a world champion. It is Sebastian Vettel for Red Bull.
And then there's Alonso's face at the finish. Oh man, it's painful to watch. After giving everything with a car that shouldn't have even been on the track, coming this close and losing it all. Since then, Ferrari have never been this close to a title again. And the Tifosi, let's just say they've been hating their lives ever since. Just like the people who watch F1 without subscribing to my channel. But honestly, Alonso's luck hasn't been any better. Doesn't matter the color of the car he's driving, none of them have ever been up to his level. And luck, yeah, that's nowhere to be found. The result, he hated his life more times than you and I would have liked.
Try 3 times, please, Fernando.
I try already, so try yourself.
Cannot believe it.
Yeah, he knew it.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. It's gonna be a torture. It's like luckiest driver in the world.
Please, will somebody just get this guy a decent car before he retires? Actually, you know what? Out of pure respect, I'm gonna wear Alonso's cap. That's better. At least he's not stuck at Ferrari anymore. That team will literally suck the soul out of anyone. The perfect example? Sir Hamilton himself. 1 year at Ferrari and suddenly his life starts sounding like a horror movie soundtrack.
We swap the cars.
Have a tea break while you're at it. Come on.
Every time. Every time.
Is what?
Is it your qualifying, your Saturdays, or?
Yeah, useless. Absolutely useless.
Seriously, what the heck are they even doing at Ferrari? Leclerc knows better than anyone. And honestly, how is this guy still surviving there after all these years? Remember when the team straight up screwed him over in Monaco?
Stay out, stay out, stay out.
Why? What I do?
Tire, position 5. Multifunction tire, position 5.
Yeah, and you could see it. He was totally broken after that. Honestly, I think Leclerc might be one of the drivers we've seen hate his life the most in recent years. Whether it's his own mistakes, Ferrari messing things up, or straight up losing faith.
I am stupid. I am stupid. I switch off everything.
At this point, I think I could make a whole video just about drivers who lost the will to live thanks to Ferrari. But believe it or not, it's not always Ferrari. And the next driver shows that. One of these saddest examples is Danny Rick. Yeah, that guy. The one who's always grinning like he just won the lottery. Man, I know I'm not the only one who misses him. The first time I think that smile actually disappeared was Monaco 2016. The Aussie had it all in the bag. He got pole on Saturday, and in Monaco, that's basically like getting handed the trophy already. Then Sunday came. It was raining, but Danny was driving like a beast, totally in control ahead of Hamilton, until lap 32 when the team called him in for a pit stop. And well, this happened.
They haven't got the tyres ready. The tyres aren't ready. Ricciardo is sat there waiting. Did he make the call? Did the team make the call? Whoever made the call, the tyres weren't ready. Super soft tyres going on.
And even though he tried everything to get past Hamilton, it was impossible on the streets of Monaco. He lost the win because of his team, thanks to a pit call that made absolutely no sense. On the podium, it was the first time we saw him serious. And after that, he didn't even bother to hide how pissed off he was with the team.
Don't know. And right now, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything. I want to get out of here, to be honest.
Luckily, 2 years later, he got his revenge and finally nailed it on the streets of Monaco, a win that must have felt sweeter than anything.
Today in Monte Carlo, it's redemption day for Daniel Ricciardo. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
But honestly, that was about the only good thing that happened to Ricciardo in 2018. That year, his fifth with Red Bull, he basically watched the entire team turn into Team Verstappen. And to make matters worse, it felt like luck just said, nah mate, I'm out. He had constant mechanical issues in practice, quali, races, you name it. By the end of the season, he'd racked up 8 DNFs and 6 back of the grid or big grid penalties. Here's what happened in Japan after he missed out on Q3 thanks to yet another mechanical failure.
Exactly.
And after yet another mechanical DNF in Mexico, Danny couldn't even hold it in when talking to the media.
I don't even think frustration's a word anymore. I just, everything just feels hopeless. So, you know, it's, I honestly don't now, where I am, I honestly don't see the point of coming on Sunday.
Along with Ferrari, I'd say Red Bull is right up there when it comes to making their drivers hate their lives. One of the guys who had it really rough was Daniil Kvyat back in 2016. The Russian had actually outperformed Ricciardo in 2015, his first year with Red Bull, and in 2016 even grabbed a podium in China. But after Vettel called him the torpedo for one of his wild starts in Shanghai, Kvyat went and totally lived up to that nickname in the next race in Sochi. Yeah, the torpedo in all its glory. Okay, one mistake. You'd expect the team to tell him off and move on, right? Well, nope. Holy... Sure, nowadays we're used to Red Bull constantly swapping and demoting their drivers every 5 minutes, but back then it was the first time it had ever happened, and it was a big deal. A really big deal. And guess what the FIA decided to do for the next race in Spain? They put Kvyat, Verstappen and Sainz all together in the press conference just to stir the pot even more.
What do you think about the Red Bull decision to change the drivers?
They changed the drivers.
But honestly, poor Daniil looked like he was about to burst into tears at any moment. And the worst part, Verstappen went on to win in Barcelona in his very first race with Daniil's old car.
At 18 years and 227 days old, Max Verstappen wins a Formula One Grand Prix, wins the Spanish Grand Prix.
Basically proving he deserved that seat, which I'm sure hit Kvyat hard. You could totally see it on his face. But you know where all the Red Bull driver drama really started? Back in 2010. Yep, when they had the best best car and 2 drivers on top of the championship with the same points, Webber and Vettel. Webber was the team's old hand, Vettel was the new superstar, and both wanted to be number 1. Obviously, that kind of thing never ends well, so let's jump to Turkey. They were both battling for the win, when suddenly
Webber's left the door wide open.
Oh, did they come together? Webber and Vettel have come together. That's Vettel going out, Webber going out. What was going on there?
Yeah, pretty much the last thing you want to see when you're the team boss. At least Webber managed to keep going, but Vettel didn't, and his reaction was one of the most explosive I've ever seen.
What the f*** are we doing here? What is stupid action? I'm going home.
Honestly, I wouldn't have wanted to be in charge of Red Bull back then, just like I wouldn't have wanted to be in charge of Mercedes a few years later, when the Rosberg-Hamilton drama hit its absolute peak. One of the tensest moments between the two actually came in Austin 2015, after going toe-to-toe in 2014, which Hamilton won. In 2015, the Brit just seemed a level above Rosberg. If he won in Texas, he'd lock up the championship with 3 races left. In Austin, the German started on pole, with Hamilton right behind. At the start, well, the Brit did this.
It's going to be 2 Mercedes going wheel to wheel into the first turn, Verstappen into the inside in about 7th, and Hamilton looks to have forced his teammate wide again, and Rosberg has to go off the track, and Hamilton into the lead.
Then went on to win the race and seal the championship.
It's the US Grand Prix for Lewis Hamilton.
After the race, Rosberg looked absolutely crushed, totally spaced out, when this happened. He messed with him at the start, messed with him after the race, and on top of that, watched him win the championship. Can you imagine how Rosberg must have felt during that moment? Bad as it was, it's like that moment flipped a switch in his head, because he went on to win the last 3 races of the season and then won 4 in 2016. And this time, he actually did it. He won the title in the final race.
Nico Rosberg is second. He takes the championship 34 years after his father. It's like father, it's like son.
Just like Rosberg, one of the drivers who hit a real low point mentally was Sainz, after getting replaced by Hamilton at Ferrari. You could totally tell the Spaniard felt at home in the Scuderia. Everyone liked him, from Charles to the whole team. I mean, who doesn't? It's Carlos. But the higher-ups decided otherwise, and he had to go. It was a huge blow for him, and 2024 turned into a really rough year, especially with the stress of trying to find a seat for the next season. Everything just got super complicated for him. And during his farewell with the team, you could tell he really didn't want to leave. Luckily, he found a new home at Williams, where he could keep chasing good times. Things don't always go the way you want them to. Another brutal moment was Vettel's crash in Germany in 2018. The German was leading the championship, starting from pole, and was cruising in front, until he made this mistake.
Sebastian Vettel, he has been leading almost from start to finish, but now he's out of this race.
From being on track to win at home for the first time to ending up in the wall. And with Hamilton winning on top of that, he also lost the championship late. Can you imagine how he must have felt lying in bed that night? I bet he replayed that moment in his head 1,000 times. And it wasn't just a normal DNF, it was a real turning point in his career. After that, Hamilton completely took over for the rest of the season, and Vettel never really got another shot at the title. Another race that really left a mark on a driver, and not in a good way, was Sakir 2020 for George Russell. At the time, the Brit was driving for Williams, but when Hamilton tested positive for COVID, Mercedes called him up to fill in, since he was part of their young driver program. A dream chance to shine, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, yeah. About that. Russell qualified second, just behind Bottas, and took the lead right at the start. Even though he barely knew what half the buttons on the Mercedes steering wheel did, he absolutely dominated the race, up until lap 59, when the safety car came out and everything went to hell. Mercedes called both him and Bottas into the pits at the same time, and somehow they completely messed up the tyres. They put Bottas's tyres on Russell's car, so he had to come back in the next lap.
They've got some of Bottas's tyres on.
Even after dropping to P5, he fought his way back up and started hunting down Perez for the win. But then he got a puncture and lost everything.
Looks like a rear left puncture. Looks like rear left puncture.
That's George Russell's chance of a podium absolutely gone now.
Yep, 2 problems in one race, and not a single one was his fault. After the race, having done everything right and still losing it, He was absolutely crushed. That's F1 for you, totally unpredictable, and always throwing up some random crazy moments, but I've saved the worst one for last. The moment when a driver probably hated his life the most has to be Barrichello in Austria 2002. He'd done everything right all weekend, dominated the race from start to finish, and then on the final lap, yep, the last one, the team told him to let Schumacher by for the championship, and he actually did it, right at the line.
I'm sure it doesn't mean anything, James, but I've just seen Jean Todt pass a little note across the pit wall to Ross Brawn.
Let Michael pass for the championship.
But Rubens Barrichello comes through. He's not going to let Michael through, is he? No, they're going to... Yes, he is! I do not believe it! I do not! Adam and Eve, what is going on?
Yeah, right at the line. Yep, the team literally stole a win from their own guy. And the podium couldn't have been more awkward. Schumacher tried to give Barrichello the top step back while the crowd was booing like crazy. The worst part, Schumacher ended up winning the title by such a massive margin that the whole thing was completely pointless. Poor Barrichello only went along with it because he didn't want to get fired. A total lose-lose situation for him. Yeah, sure, being an F1 driver might seem like a dream life for most of us, me included. But it's also packed with these tough moments and situations that I'm sure make them every now and then totally hate their lives. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll love this one right here too. And as always, thank you for watching.